what we're going to do today, and you can follow along, is put together a target audience, a packaged service. So basically, I do this. These are the steps involved. This is what you get for it. This is the problem it fixes for you. This is how much it costs. Like that kind of easy to sell service, as opposed to something that would be more like consultancy based, where it's like, what do you need? How can I help you? Because that stuff tends to be a lot longer lead time. So target audience package service, an initial price, which would be based on your basically your needs, your day rate, your hourly rate, whatever it is that you'd use. An outbound strategy. So that's obviously the bit that how do we then take all of this and put it in something that we can, how do we then get it out to the people we want to speak to? And then the last is a calendar entry, so you actually do it. Because it's all nice and well having all of this kind of stuff in place, but it's like those final two steps of actually what the strategy itself, like how are we doing this outreach, and then the calendar entry of actually making yourself do it. And we'll cover some of the things that are involved with that when we get there. So starting off with the target audience. Actually, yeah, is that fine? Everyone on board? Yeah, which is a struggle indeed, as you say. So starting off with target audience, the best way I found to go about this is dealing with, firstly, clients you've served before, examples of work that you already have, people you have a proven track record of helping, and then people you know who have a pain point that you can fix. So starting with clients, sometimes we have situations where it's really nice to get to doing the work that you absolutely love. And in those kind of situations, I think this is more for, all right, we want to start reaching out to people as soon as possible, start doing project work, getting out of a situation where like things aren't working in the way we want to work. So you're not always doing like ideal projects, but it's like starting off with clients that you've already served before, and examples of work you already have gets you quicker to the point where you're actually doing that outreach. So a sticking point that I found is where it's like, all right, you start from the very beginning, start with a blank sheet of paper. I want to do this kind of work. All right, I need to create a folio. And then people can get really stuck in the folio section where they're like, oh yeah, I need to do make this folio, and I need to make it perfect, I need to make it wonderful. And then it's like, it's procrastination. So starting off with projects, clients that we've already dealt with as far as the target audience is concerned, going through your folio and just picking out bits of work and putting it together into lists of sectors or lists of project types or lists that you can basically say, all right, there is a group of projects that I have done. I can create, for example, a PDF folio of them, and then I can reach out to them. Because when you have these lists of projects, you can then say, okay, my audience is these kinds of sectors. So it's like, this is the target audience. This is the need that they have that I can help them with. The outcome that they want and that I can help them get to is this. Then the way I've done it is bam, 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 bam. And then what they care about most about how their project is delivered. So is it pricing? Is it that you do it quickly? Is it that you it has certain features or it's delivered in a certain way? And then you can say, why would they choose you over somebody else? So like your unique selling point of how you deliver your service or something like this. So I'll give you that again. So target audience is X. They need me to help them do this. The outcome that they want is the way that I do it is then what they care about most and how their project is delivered. And then they choose me or other people because. So those are the questions that I would answer. Because once you've collected together your work to say, these are the kind of projects I've delivered before, here's like a group of them that I would be willing to do again. Then you can analyze your own projects to answer these questions. And that makes it super, super simple. Because when you then have this list of, to answer those 6 questions I've just gone through, that then gives you a group of people that you can search for. Because if you know who their audience is and you know what they need you to do, and you know their outcome and like the way like you approach it, this is the start of putting together an offer that you can then describe to them. Because it starts that starting with that audience and knowing how you help them, knowing how you serve them, being able to describe them quite clearly. Look, you have this problem, you have this pain point, I can help you in this way. And this is how I'd help you overcome that problem or reach that goal. And here's examples of how I've done it before. Like that is the start of what it is you need to do the outreach. Because the warm outreach, the warm outreach or cold outreach or whatever it is, if you're vague about what it is you're trying to do, if you're vague in how you're trying to help them, then it makes it difficult to say yes. And what we want to do here is make it as easy as possible to say yes to your offer, because then you can spend as much or as little time as you want contacting people, or just directly make a list, reach out, and just to like say, I do this. This is the benefits of it. This is how I've helped other people. I have a friend who works in sales. He's a very, very outgoing person, and he's just like, it's just a non skit. You just like message people. I do this. This is how I've helped. This is the outcome that I can get for you. Are you interested? Yes or no? So you don't have to approach it in that way. So it's very cold, in my opinion, approaching it that way. But if that's the approach that you want to take, and you'll get lots of people who you see doing this, I'm sure your inbox is full of like that kind of stuff. If that's the approach you want to take, then having these things of, here's the projects that I've done before, or how I can help you, and that kind of thing. That's the building blocks for doing the outreach itself. So the next part, that will be covering target audience. Did that make sense so far? If you could just give us a wee thumbs up. If you have any questions, also drop them in the comments or shout out. Awesome. Thanks. Cool. If you have lots of different work, or your work doesn't really fall into these kind of columns, what you can do is a way to find a niche. This is something I borrowed from a guy called Josh Spector, who is really interesting as a daily email that he sends out with really good information, or he's on LinkedIn as well. You can follow it. This American guy. What he does is say, start off with, so for example, find a niche based on a client type. So I do branding design. And then each step, you make it more specific. So I do branding design. So I do branding design for restaurants. I do branding design for sit-in restaurants, branding design for sit-in pizza joints, branding design for sit-in pizza joints who do takeaway, branding design for sit-in pizza joints who do takeaway of student towns. So starting off with the widest possible thing you can get and doing at least 5 steps in. So I worked through it with a client, so creative direction for the arts and culture sector, creative direction for the arts and culture sector who do touring exhibitions, creative direction for arts and culture sector who do global touring exhibitions, creative direction for arts and culture sector who do global touring exhibitions based on the classical era. So that one's quite specific, but like making it like smaller and smaller, making it more and more specific as you go. Photography is wide, photojournalism in exotic places, photojournalism in exotic places allow me to travel 6 times a year. So allow me to travel 6 times a year, paying over $5,000 per job, and then internationally renowned publications allow me to travel to exotic places 6 times a year, paying $5,000 a job. So this is another way of, if you don't have the list, like a portfolio where you can say, all right, here's a bank of projects where I can use as an example for this specific client or in this specific way, you can niche in this way to allow you to choose who your audience would be. Cool. So this next step is the packaged service. So what you want to do with a package service, as I say, the difference between this and doing something like consulting or doing something where it's like, look, I offer lots and lots of services. What are you interested in? Neither is better than the other, but what I want to talk through just now is how do we get to that outreach section? So the package service makes it much easier. So when I was first starting out as a branding designer, I put something together called Startup 101, which with the networking things I was going to was the audience, what they really needed is lots of businesses who were just starting up. So I did logo, business card, letterhead, email signature, and then just gave it a price. The idea being that these were all the ways that they needed a logo. They would be communicating by letter. They would need an email signature because the computer may communicate by email, and they have a business card as well. So those are the things that people generally felt that they needed to get started. So I was meeting lots of new businesses. I created Startup 101 and I sold lots and lots of them because it's just a pre-packaged. This is how you are new, you need this. How do we get started? And this is how much it costs. So that's what the thought behind the package services. So have a clear goal of how it benefits your audience, make it easy to explain and understand, make it easy to say yes to, make the outcomes as clear as possible, and then show exactly how that service helps the client reach their goal. Because you've already done your target audience, you already know the projects that you've done, you already know how it's helped them. So then this kind of stuff makes it straightforward. Then when you have your project examples, it's like, this is what I do, here's examples of it, and it makes the outreach as easy as possible. That section is quite brief, is that all right, everyone? Makes sense? Any questions? Awesome. Okay, so the initial price is how to make your pricing so it's actually like a decent, it actually covers everything that you do. So most of what we do with pricing a project is we just cover the section in the middle. So it's like the stuff that's actually covered in the project. But what we want to do is cover the before and the after. So the onboarding of a client, the doing the outreach, doing the negotiation, the discussion, that kind of thing, and then the after being like the offboarding, collecting the feedback, like that kind of all the extra bits that come with that. So generally, what people do is if they just cover the during, then they've got lots of time that's unpaid. Whereas if you can just make 3 lists, your before, your during, and after, list the things that are involved, add time that's you're going to cover for each of them, and then add it all up, add your like 15 to 20%. But if you like add all of these up and then like times about like the hourly rate that it's going to take to actually deliver the project, then it'll give you the project price that you shouldn't go below. So that then says, this is all the time that's actually involved in the project, not just the during, but before and the after. And then you add on your tax, add your 20% for messing up, and then that's your price. So by this point, you've got your target audience, exactly who it is you want to help, how you help them, how you benefit like their goals, the package service of this is what I do, this is how it helps you, this is how it suits the audience and what it is they want to achieve, and then just the price. So now you have the full box, everything that you would need in order to go to them and say, hey, this is what I do. This is how I help you. This is I understand your goals and your outcomes. Are you interested? Yes or no? Then you're ready to do the outreach part of it. So with the outreach, start with the warmest people first. So contact previous clients, the people that you've worked with, people that you know that have benefited from the kind of work that you do. Contact the previous opportunities who went cold. So people that have been in touch who were interested, but maybe you couldn't quite work out what it is you wanted to do for them, couldn't quite work out how you could benefit them. They couldn't quite say yes for whatever reason. Third, ask the previous client to refer you. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a way you can go about that in a second. then as parallel creatives, so other people who do something that is, they maybe work with similar clients, but they don't overlap with you. So if you're a web designer, asking other web designers who do the exact same thing as you, it's not necessarily going to get you what you want. But if you're a web designer and you know someone who does branding but doesn't do websites, like speak to them. If you are a copywriter, contact web designers, like this kind of thing. These people who work in parallel, work with similar clients, but don't actually do the kind of stuff that you do. And then you can go to them and do the exact same thing. Hey, I'm looking to work with these kinds of people. I want to help do this. Who do you know that I can help? And then get to the cold outreach. So I'm going to come to the cold outreach in a second. But first, when you are doing warm outreach, phone calls are the best way to go about it if you can. But, calling lots of people isn't necessarily what we want to be doing. So putting together an email, or a message that's going to go out in a DM. So this kind of structure, introduction on a personal point, the service and benefit you're looking to offer, and then the next step. So with somebody that you've already worked with, hey, I was thinking about whatever the point of connection, you came to mind. I know you're working on the goal that you've already covered in this section. In the target audience, you know the goal that they're looking to achieve. You know that the goal that you've already delivered for the clients. I want to know if it's similar. So you can mention one of the clients that you've already worked with, one of the examples that you've already pulled together as far as your work is concerned. You help them get the outcome. So they've got the goal that they're looking to achieve. You've got the outcome. You can check it out here. Sending a link, sending a PDF is great if you can, because then it keeps it native. If you can open up a PDF in an email without having to go anywhere else, you can control the steps that you take them through when they're looking at the work, because they're going to flick through every page. Whereas if you send them to a website, they might go away and get lost. You know what the internet's like. You send them onto a website, their eye gets caught by something shiny and away they go. You can direct them to wherever. So a section on where it is might be particularly interesting to you. If this is of interest, happy to discuss how we can do something similar. Drop a reply, let's organize a call. So that's simple. Intro, personal point, service and benefit, the next step in the call to action. That's straightforward. The tips that I have for this kind of thing are these. So focus on them, make it personal, and remind them of what you do. So they want something from you and you want to offer it to them. And that's a really good way to think about like this kind of outreach in general, is you are helping them achieve something. You're offering them the opportunity to have the benefit that you're looking to provide for them. And that is nothing but a good thing. You're not asking them for anything. Like, you can help them. You already know you've helped them. You've covered it in your audience section. You've shown, you've got proof that you've helped other people. Like, you have done this kind of work before, and you've got examples of it. You can prove it. You've got testimonials that come in there. So focusing on the actual helping side will kind of take away a bit of the fear that you get in your belly before you're doing stuff like this. So yeah, focus on them, make it personal, working on their goal. You love what they shared about their thing. You're thinking about them, and then remind them of what you do. So keep it relevant to their outcome. Keep it relevant to like the service that you can help them with. So if you use email, tell them the gist in a subject line, so that they know what it is they're opening. If possible, use a PDF, and use a professional email signature. Always good. So that's with the warm outreach. But then the referrals are an also absolutely awesome way of going about this. So referrals good for everyone involved. So it helps you. It helps a referring client because they're sharing you with somebody else who's also, and that person's going to benefit in the same way that they have. And then for the new client, obviously, because you're helping them achieve their goal. Top tips with this one. So make their life easy. So tell them what it is you do. Make it easy for them to be able to explain what you do. And this kind of goes back to the like having the package service, so that you can say, look, this is what I do. This is how it helps. Are they interested? Yes or no? Rather than they did this for me and it was like this and all this kind of thing. Like I've had these kind of experiences where I've asked people to refer me, and then the person that comes on is like, all right, so they said you do this for them. And I'm like, I don't know how they got that understanding, but no. Yeah. So I gave somebody, I was doing a branding design project for somebody, and I gave them some advice on how to put together their website. And they referred me to someone who needed a website. And then they were like, oh, they said you do like this kind of website design. I'm like, I can help you with a website, but it's like as part of a branding thing. Oh, I don't need branding. Like, why would we talk about branding? Like, I don't know. So you want to, in that instance, it was my fault for not, for not making it clear, basically. So when you're requesting a referral, make their life easy. Be super specific. Tell them what it is that you're looking for. Remind them of what you did for them, and then tell them how to introduce you. So this is the call to action. Something is actually missing from lots of people's folios is the call to action. Like, what's the next step? So there's lots of ways you can go about this. So if they've shown that they're happy with your work, you can send them a message that's like this. So, thanks for the opportunity to work with you on your project. It's great to hear you're happy with the results and the outcome of what was delivered. Who do you know that could use this service on their projects, or this service on these results? Then remind them referrals are super important to my business, helping to people like achieve their goals. So if you know of anyone who might need the services, I'd be grateful if you could use me by. So those two, doing the warm outreach through people you've already worked with, like requesting a referral either through previous clients or through parallel creatives, can help you go a long way to actually reaching out to as many people as possible. Because as you go through life, and to be honest, as you go through like this kind of process, more and more people will come to mind. More people of, oh, I remember having a conversation with that person, or oh, that client the opportunity that I had that didn't quite come to fruition. Like, I can reach out to them, because if you've had like positive conversations with people before, they are generally happy to talk to you again. And what I would say is follow up and follow up and follow up. Like, people don't, just because they don't respond to your email first time, it's not a no. It's they might be busy. You might not be their priority. They might have many other things going on. So actually giving yourself the opportunity just to follow up and say, hey, I reached out to you about this. Is this something that you can help me with? The next part is the cold outreach. So this tends to be the thing that people think of when they think of putting together something like an outreach strategy. These parts will warm you up. So the first four will warm you up to this next step, because you'll have lots of preparation. You'll have written your emails. You'll have like everything prepared. You've got your examples. You know how you can help people. You'll be into the habit of actually doing this kind of stuff. So I'd say do these parts, then get into the cold outreach, because you'll also have refined your idea of who it is that you can help. You'll have you'll have practiced writing all of this stuff, or practice going through the processes, which means when you get to this point, you're just more prepared. So starting with going back to your audience, who are they? Where can you find as many of them as possible? Just doing that step, being quite open to it. Online isn't an answer. On LinkedIn isn't necessarily an answer. but like thinking of how you communicate best with people. So if is it by phone call? Is it through direct messages? Is it by dropping emails? Like what kind of um, person or organization, business, whatever, is going to want this service, want the thing that you can help them, the goal that you can help them achieve, and has the income to spend on this thing that you're looking to sell to them. You'll know that, as I say, from the stuff that you've done with your audience before, the audience section at the top. So where can you find them? What is the best way to reach out to them? So, as I've said, the calls, the emails, the messages, whatever. And then focus on the serving. And then just get into the just ask part. This isn't, it feels like there's a big mystery to this kind of thing. But it is, when you get to the cold, it is just a numbers game. It is about saying who are the organizations? Is it asking people direct? Is it going through recruiters? Is it going to agencies? Like how can you then by showing why you're the person that you can get in front of them? But it's like, hi Alexandra. So then just reaching out to as many as possible, create lists. And as you go through your week and you come across other people come to mind, or you come across other organizations, like add them to the list, add a contact information. So one thing that I can actually recommend to you is this thing here. I don't know if it's going to load, but yeah, it's called Hunter. So you can add this to your browser, and basically you can go to websites, and it will give you a list of email addresses for them. So it doesn't work for everyone. If you do it on Apple, it doesn't give you anything. But it's like if you have organizations that you're looking to work with, you can have Hunt on your browser. You click the button, and it will give you, okay, here's an email address, and it pulls it from different points in the internet. So it says, okay, there's 11 different sources on the internet say that this is an email address for this URL. Or it will give you the structured name.surname at URL, like this kind of thing. And then you can just add it to your list as you go. And then you turn it into the habit. So you do it for breakfast. So the calendar entry of do it every day, do it every week, make it regular. That should be lowercase. Make it regular. Because the rejection part of it, that like fear part of it, is the thing that's actually stopping you. Because this stuff of finding the right kind of people that you want to work with it's a trial and error. But if you have your niche, so as I've said about like if you've done something like this, it's like there's only so many internationally renowned publications that are going to allow you to travel to exotic places. So you can get online, you can search for them, you can ask other people who are working in similar fields, and you can find more people out there. I've recently been sort of speaking to someone who wants to work with Formula One companies and teams, Formula One teams. And it's like the number of, just by doing a few searches on my own LinkedIn, I'm now being offered loads of different people who actually, they just keep popping up. And it's like if you go through that niche process, or you go through your own like research, your own work, and you find, all right, these are the people that I want to serve, these are the people I want to help, then you can just do the research and make it every day. Make it the first thing that you do in the day. When it's like you get up, it's the whole idea is that eat the frog, get up, eat the frog, and then get on with your day. Because then you are making it just a natural part of how you do your business. And it kind of removes the mental strain and the worry and I don't really want to be doing this, like when it's coming to actually reaching out to people. Because if you're focusing on serving, focusing on how you can help them, and you know exactly how you can help them because you've gone through the process. You know the problem that they have that you can help. You know the challenge that you help them overcome. You know the goal you're helping them reach. then you can reach out with your pre-written emails, with your little script that you might follow, and ask them, do you want me to help you?